Let's bring in our former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump, Matt Pottinger, the chairman of the Foundation for Defensive Democracy's China program. Matt, good to be with you. It's been more than a minute. Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you again. So not to say that this was your fault, but you were Deputy National Security Advisor at a time when relations between President Trump and Xi Jinping really began to go south. So what are you predicting for Thursday's meeting?
Yeah, well, this is going to be the first meeting between President Trump and Xi Jinping since Osaka 2019 during the G20. So it's been 6 years. They had 5 summits during the first term. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. There was the COVID pandemic. Yep. There was China's recent attempt to try to regulate all technology trade in the world, a pretty grave overreach in my mind. But I can see that Scott Bessent and Jamieson Greer, who've been doing a lot of heavy lifting over the weekend with their Chinese counterparts, seem to have brushed the Chinese back from that bit of overreach. So I'm expecting there to be, a relatively smooth summit between Xi Jinping and President Trump. I think they'll announce some things, maybe soybean sales again, delaying China's rare earths regulatory regime, which is so expansive, and President Trump refraining from adding new tariffs. So par for the course. That's not a bad outcome given the structural competition between the two countries. Yeah,
that really follows along with what the Treasury Secretary was saying yesterday. Few details on this looming trade deal and the framework of it, but certainly following along the lines of what you said there in terms of the issues that are at stake here. I remember talking to President Trump, I guess it was probably just after COVID hit. And we asked him, have you talked to Xi Jinping lately? He says, no, I don't want to talk to him. I'm not happy with him. You think that you think the water under the bridge has been repaired since then?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. President Trump has not forgotten what Xi Jinping did, both in terms of underplaying COVID. I remember President Xi was saying, don't worry, this thing will burn out. It's not a big deal. We've got it under control. Next thing you know, the whole world is in a major recession. So President Trump hasn't forgotten that. President Trump, if you noticed, when he gave his speech at the UN just a couple of months ago, President Trump was talking about biological weapons research and how the world needs to come together to try to restrict countries from undertaking that dangerous research. It was almost certainly dangerous research of that nature that led to the COVID outbreak in the first place.
So first stop on this tour was Malaysia. It was Saturday our time. It was early Sunday at the president's time. As he got off Air Force One, we saw a little reprise from the campaign trail of the president getting involved with some of the local talent. Take a look here. Donald Trump dance come back there, but it just shows how comfortable he is when he's going to visit these foreign leaders. I mean, he really kind of runs the whole show.
He is. And I'm glad he's in Asia. He's in the process of putting in place a series of trade deals that effectively make it much harder for other countries to become transshipment centers for China to dump its goods into the U.S. market. So not only is he has he put tariffs on China, but he's also helping enlist Southeast Asian countries and others to restrict Chinese access to our market through transshipment. So I'm glad he's in Asia, and I know the Asians are really glad that he's there as well.
Well, he always makes a big imprint when he's there. Real quick, do you think he's going to meet with Kim Jong-un again?
I don't know. It looks like he's extended the invitation. The last time he did this in 2019, Kim Jong-un showed up. Maybe Kim is going to be a little more reserved this time because he feels like he's getting so much of what he needs from the Russians and from the Chinese. But maybe he'll play a little, hard to get this time. But one last thing. President Trump's meeting with the Japanese prime minister. I think this is really exciting because she is kind of she styles herself as kind of a Margaret Thatcher type figure. So remember the relationship between Reagan and Thatcher? I think we might be able to see that again with President Trump.
And she's an acolyte of Shinzo Abe as well. The president got along famously with him. So we'll see how well this goes. He should be awake in about 5 hours or so. So we expect to hear a lot more.
Great.
Matt, great to catch up with you. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.